Penguin Random House Audio presents Ayesha at Last by Uzma Jalaluddin. Read for you by Roshni Shukla. For Imtiaz, who said when, not if. Chapter 1. He wondered if he would see her today. Khalid Mirza sat at the breakfast bar of his light-filled kitchen, long legs almost reaching the floor. It was 7 a.m, and his eyes were trained on the window, the one with the best view of the townhouse complex across the street. His patience was rewarded. A young woman wearing a purple hijab, blue button-down shirt, blazer, and black pants ran down the steps of the middle townhouse, balancing a red ceramic travel mug and canvas satchel. She stumbled but caught herself, skidding to a stop in front of an aging sedan. She put the mug on the hood of the car and unlocked the door. Khalid had seen her several times since he had moved into the neighborhood 2 months ago. Always with her red ceramic mug, always in a hurry. She was a petite woman with a round face and dreamy smile, skin a golden, burnished copper that glowed in the sullen March morning. It is not appropriate to stare at women, no matter how interesting their purple hijabs, Khalid reminded himself. Yet his eyes returned for a second wistful look. She was so beautiful. The sound of Bollywood music blaring from a car speaker made the young woman freeze. She peered around her Toyota Corolla to see a red Mercedes SLK convertible zoom into her driveway. Khalid watched as the young woman dropped to a crouch behind her car. Who was she hiding from? He leaned forward for a better look. "What are you looking at, Khalid?" asked his mother Farzana. "Nothing, Ummi," Khalid said, and took a bite of the clammy scrambled eggs Farzana had prepared for breakfast. When he looked up again, the young woman and her canvas satchel were inside the Toyota. Her red travel mug was not. It flew off the roof of her car as she sped away, smashing into 100 pieces and narrowly missing the red Mercedes. Khalid laughed out loud. When he looked up, he caught his mother's stern gaze. "It's such a lovely day outside," Farzana said, giving her son a hard look. "I can see why your eyes are drawn to the view." Khalid flushed at her words. Ami had been dropping hints lately. She thought it was time for him to marry. He had a steady job, and 26 was a good age to settle down. Their family was wealthy and could easily pay for the large wedding his mother wanted. "I was going to tell you after I'd made a few choices, but it appears you are ready to hear the news. I've begun the search for your wife," Farzana announced, and her tone brooked no opposition. "Love comes after marriage, not before. These Western ideas of romantic love are utter nonsense. Just look at the American divorce rate." Khalid paused mid-bite. But his mother didn't notice. Her announcement was surprising, but the news was not unexpected or even unwelcome. He resumed eating. "I will find you the perfect wife, modest, not too educated. If we can't find someone local, we will search for a girl back home." Back home for Farzana was Hyderabad, India, though she had lived in Canada for more than 30 years. Khalid had been born in a suburb west of Toronto and lived there for most of his life until his father's death 6 months ago, before Farzana and Khalid had moved to the east end of the city. Farzana had insisted on the move, and though Khalid had been sorry to leave his friends in the mosque he had frequented with his father, deep down he thought it might do them both some good. Their new neighborhood had felt instantly comfortable. From the moment they'd arrived, Khalid felt as if he had finally come home. There were more cars parked 3 or 4 deep on extended driveways, more untamed backyards in need of the maintenance that only time, money, and access to professional services could provide. Yet the people were kind, friendly even. and Khalid was at ease among the brown and black faces that reflected his own. Farzana neatly flipped another paratha flatbread onto her son's plate, though he had not asked for more. The wedding will be in July. Everyone will want an invitation, but I will limit the guest list to 600 people. Any more is showing off. Humming to herself, she placed a small pot on the stove, adding water, milk, cinnamon, cloves, cardamom, and tea leaves for chai. Khalid's eyes lingered on the chipped forest green mug on the counter. His father's mug. Ammi had used that mug for his Abba's chai for years. This was the first time he had seen it out of the cupboard since the move. Maybe his mother was finally beginning to make her way through the cloud of grief that had paralyzed her after Abba's death. There was so much of the past they did not talk about. Khalid was relieved she was thinking about the future, or rather, his future. The idea of an arranged marriage had never bothered Khalid. A partner carefully chosen for him, just as his parents had been chosen for each other and their parents before them, seemed like a tidy practice. He liked the idea of being part of an unbroken chain that honored tradition and ensured family peace and stability. He knew that some people, even his own sister, thought the practice of arranged marriage was restrictive, but he found it comforting. Romantic relationships and their accompanying perks were for marriage only. At the thought of romantic perks, Khalid's attention drifted to the window once more, but he stopped himself. The girl with the broken red mug would never be more than a fantasy. Because while it is a truth universally acknowledged that a single Muslim man must be in want of a wife, there's an even greater truth. To his Indian mother, his own inclinations are of secondary importance. Chapter 2. The Toyota lurched down the street, wheezing and anemic. Ayesha reached for her travel mug, but her hand closed on empty air. In the rear-view mirror, she spotted the red shards on the asphalt. Blast! She had been in such a hurry to get away from Hafsa. Now she would have to face her first day as a substitute high school teacher without the comforting armor of chai. No matter. It was worth it. The moment she had spotted the red Mercedes convertible pulling onto the street, Ayesha had known why her cousin was visiting so early in the morning, and she didn't want to hear it. Besides, there was one rule repeatedly drilled into her at teachers' college. A teacher could never, under any circumstances, be late. Ayesha had graduated from teachers' college last June. It had taken nearly 7 months of papering local schools with her resume to secure a substitute teaching position. Now her stomach flipped over as she parked in the staff lot of Brookridge High School, a squat 2-story brown brick building constructed in the 1970s, ugly and functional. The building was similar in layout and atmosphere to her old high school. It had the same well-tended shabbiness of a public building, the same blue-tinted fluorescent lighting, and waxed and speckled linoleum floors. The same mostly white staff dressed in business formal slacks and skirts. The same mostly brown and black students slouching in jeans, track pants, and 2 short dresses. Ayesha tugged self-consciously at her carefully chosen teacher clothes. Blue button-down shirt and serviceable black pants. Her hands nervously smoothed the top of her purple hijab. Part of both worlds, yet part of neither, she thought. Such existential thoughts were really not helping to settle the butterflies in her stomach. She entered the large, open foyer, its concrete walls painted a dull green and smelling faintly of industrial cleaning solvent. The familiar scent calmed her, and she smiled slightly at a female student in black leggings and a blue hoodie, carrying an overloaded backpack. The girl gave her a dubious look before shifting her bag and walking purposely down the hall, reminding Ayesha to hurry. A teacher must never be late. The secretary, Mary, was waiting for her in the main office with forms to sign.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?